Hello, Jen here with a layout for the Scrapshots design team. This is September's Scrapshots paper crafting Facebook group challenge. I just showed you my new tattoo. There's a reason for that. The challenge for the month of September in the paper crafting group is to feature your favorite animal. So whether that is with the collection and the products that you use to create your project, or maybe it is the focus of your project, so the photo that you're going to use on a layout, whatever it might be, however you're able to do it, you want to feature your favorite animal. And you can do any project that you would like. So if you want to create some cards or a layout or any other paper crafting that you want to do, any projects that you like to do, you are welcome to head over to the Scrapshots paper crafting Facebook group. I'll leave the link down below in the description, and join us for some fun and some inspiration, and you can see what other people are doing with this challenge, as well as we'll have an album there where you can go ahead and upload your project and share with everybody else. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's nice. I like that for our challenges, we will often do something just a little bit different, trying to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit and maybe think about using different products or just trying a different technique, that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a really fun group to join in, and every month there's a new challenge, so you'll be able to get tons and tons of inspiration. So I'm using the 49&Market Beach Vibes collection. I got that from Sandy at Scrapshots, and I'm creating an album to document our vacation that we took this summer. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know that every summer we like to do a bit of a road trip, and I try to document that in its own album. And so for this summer we headed west, so we did lots of beaches, lots of kind of island vibes, and so I think this is a really fun collection. I have done a more thorough flip through of it in the unboxing that I did a few weeks ago, so that is on my channel if you're kind of wanting to see the collection a little bit better. And I'm kind of going fast here with like flipping through the pages and stuff. So if you do want to see it in a bit more detail, definitely you can jump over to the unboxing and I show you all the pages and the different things that I got. I got the 6x8 paper pack. I got the rub-ons, which are so gorgeous. I got the puffy stickers, which are also so gorgeous and soft and buttery, and they're huge. It's 2 huge 6x12 sheets of puffy stickers and 3 huge 6x12 sheets of rub-ons. And then I also got the chipboard pieces that are the large titles and the words, and they are really, really nice too. Like, such a gorgeous collection, but also just the quality of each of those things. The paper is nice and thick, the chipboard's really nice and soft and thick, the puffy stickers are beautiful, and the rub-ons are so nice. So yeah, I'm really, really happy and excited to be using this collection. So definitely check out that unboxing, or just head over to the store, scrapshots.com. I also will have that link down below, and grab the elements that you want, because I have a feeling this is flying off the shelves, especially now that people are kind of done their summer stuff and they're ready to get home and start documenting it. They're going to be picking up stuff like this. So if you spent any time at the beach this summer, this is definitely the collection for you. It's these gorgeous kind of teals and blues and little bits of green, mixed in with the yellows and reds and pinks and oranges of sunset. And so those kind of blue greens contrast so nicely with the red oranges or the yellow oranges. It's just really pretty. And then it does have a lot of kind of tropical vibes to it, but also it's got surfing, and it's got lots of, little phrases and things about being by the sea. So it really does work for any kind of beachy vacation or, beach day that you have spent this summer, or if you're planning on going on a cruise or that kind of thing, or if you did that maybe this past year, it's a great collection. So definitely run to the shop and grab what you want, because it's not going to last long. So you can see I'm doing 2 pages, and you may have guessed by now with the tentacles that I just cut out that my favorite animal that I am documenting to feature on this layout is the octopus. So I think I have mentioned it multiple times that my actual favorite animal is a shark, and I just did a shark layout in July to document Shark Week and Shark Fest, so I thought I'm going to go with another favorite animal of mine, and I am going to document the octopus tattoos that my husband and I got. We got matching tattoos on our vacation. That's kind of like our new little treat to ourselves, a little souvenir for ourselves. We've gone to a lot of these places over the past few years, and now it's sort of, our trips for the most part are going back to places we really love, and checking out things we may have missed the first time, that kind of thing. And so we don't really need to buy all of the typical souvenirs that I think people need to buy, the t-shirts and the magnets and stuff like that. We love to buy local stuff. So of course, like when you are driving through, the lower mainland in Okanagan and all of that, in the Osoyoos area, that's where we kind of were. We love to buy local fruits and local veggies, but we also will buy like craft beers and ciders and local honey and that kind of stuff. So we do like to do that. And then tattoos are going to be our little kind of souvenir to ourselves. So we got matching tattoos, octopus tattoos in Nanaimo, when we were kind of thinking to ourselves, what animal or what visual do we come up with when we think of the Pacific Northwest? We both kind of thought of the giant red octopus, and I have been obsessed with octopuses since I was little, since I was really, really little. And I am just super excited to see that they kind of are having their moment right now, where people are really into them, and there's been some beautiful books written about them, and there's lots of research happening right now into their lives and trying to understand them a little bit more. And so I really love that, and I'm living for it, and I'm so happy to see that, because hopefully that means more research is more awareness and more conservation efforts to make sure that we have our beautiful octopuses for a long, long time, because they do kind of have delicate lives, and they're super, super cool. So that's my favorite animal, one of my favorite animals. I have several, but yes, so I am using this collection, and I thought it's a tattoo, so it's an indoor thing, and so I didn't want to use the papers that were like the water, because I have lots of beach photos and landscape photos that I think will work better for those. But I saw these 2 pages that have sort of like a beach hut on each side of them, and I don't know that they necessarily were meant to go together as one scene, but when I put them together, don't you think that looks like it was meant to be? I know I'm covering up the beautiful sunset in the middle, but I think that's kind of the sacrifice you have to make when you are using papers that have printed stuff on them. And I do have 2 other pieces of each of these papers, so I'll be able to get the full kind of sunset visual into my album somewhere at some point. But I felt like when I put them together, they just kind of looked like they were one complete scene, and they're buildings, and we were inside a building. So that's where my brain was kind of going with picking those particular photos. And then on the backs of one of these is this sort of thatched roof pattern, I guess you would say. And I thought that kind kind of makes a nice mat for my pictures, and it gave me the opportunity to bring a little texture in by doing that little fringe that you saw me do at the top there. So again, kind of almost like the roof, and then when I put my pictures in there, it looks like they're maybe in their own little hut or something. My brain goes off into those little places. I know you guys probably do the same thing, but I like to share with you when I have a thought process like that, because I know we probably all have our own little unique kind of quirks when it comes to that. And then my little tentacles that you see, I got those from some of my Wild Whisper stash that I still have been hoarding. So that's the Wild Whimsy collection, which I don't think there is any of it left. You would have to maybe score some at a store that didn't sell out, but it is many, many years old now. So the likelihood is you probably won't find it unless you have it in your stash somewhere. But I don't think there were any full octopus in the collection, but there were a few cards that had these tentacles. So I just grabbed the cards, the only two that I had left. I cut those out, and then I actually created a couple more just by using the leftover blank side of each of those cards. Because they are a journaling card, the images were sort of scooched over to one side, and then there was a spot for you to put your picture or write some journaling. And so I just used that space and created other tentacles. And so here you can see the ones that I created. And I will be honest, at first I thought what I was going to do was just create the tentacle by cutting out the general shape and then tucking it in behind the printed ones, because I didn't really have the confidence to fully recreate the tentacles and make them look exactly the way Heather has them. And so when I was playing around a little bit and kind of putting them on, I've left all that in for you to see, because you can definitely see from the very first time I kind of popped those tentacles on to this final step here, they've changed position a whole bunch of times. And I thought that I would just maybe throw those in and they would just look like maybe the back of another tentacle or just a shadow. But I gained a little bit of confidence as I was going, and I kind of looked at how Heather drew hers and thought, I can go ahead and recreate this. So with my black marker, I just drew the circles the way that Heather drew circles. And so essentially they are just circles with a second circle, smaller circle inside, and then the center of that smaller circle is white. The only difference is I didn't have the two-toned effect. I didn't go look for a marker or anything like that I could make the two-toned effect, but that's totally fine with me. But if I wanted to recreate these myself again, I would just take my base color, then I would take maybe a darker color that I can draw over top of that base color and make my circles, and then I would take my white acrylic pen and make my dots of white, and then go back and outline everything with black, and it would look almost exactly like what Heather did. And it's really just about like how you make your circles so they hug the shape of your tentacle. But they were really fun to do, and I definitely think it's worth playing around and experimenting. At the very least, if they didn't turn out at all and I completely screwed up, I just would have left them off of the layout. But I've been in a bit of an experimental mood with my layouts lately, and so I thought I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I think they turned out really cute. So PSA for today: experiment. Don't be afraid to screw up. It doesn't matter. It's just paper. I know we spent money on it and we love our paper and it brings us joy, and we never want to, make a mistake or do anything to jeopardize the paper, but it's totally okay. I'm giving you permission to have some fun, and if it doesn't turn out, throw it out and try again. It's going to be okay, and it turned out really cute. I love my little tentacles. I think they work really well, and they just bring in the whole concept of the octopus, and they just happen to be in colors that were close enough to the shades that are already in the collection that I don't think they stand out drastically. But if I didn't have any of these cards left, I actually thought that I would try to maybe recreate the tentacles and make them stick out a lot. So make them really, really obvious. If I had to do it myself, by maybe going for bolder red, and maybe some green or something like that, or some, darker teal, and just make it super obvious that they're not actually part of the collection and that they're not fitting in. It's kind of bringing my theme into a collection that's already there. So you could go either way, but I think these actually sort of matched really well, and they don't stick out too much. So basically, once I got those on, I added some chipboard in there. I added some puffy stickers in there, a little bit of journaling. I did sketchy lines around everything just to give myself a really nice border, and here you can see my fringe that I created, and that's it. That is my layout. You will have to go to my Instagram to see the final product with the photos in there, so please go ahead and do that. The link will also be down below, and please check out the Scrapshot store to grab your beach vibes today. And until next time, happy scrapping. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Subscribe my channel.